Good morning. It is Tuesday, and we are giving you the latest news on the takeover. So stay with us. Good morning, gentlemen, and good morning to the Man United Agenda family. You're very welcome to this news update. And lads, it's a family in crisis, apparently. There is a bit of dissent amongst Joel and Avram Glazier and their siblings, with the aforementioned two looking at the possibility of buying out those siblings in order to strengthen their grip on Manchester United. This is following reports that have been released that some of the family do not want to hold on to any stake in the club, even if the price tag that they've set is not realised. This is because the family is being targeted by fan groups and they don't want any more to do with the club. But the other two are keen to hold a business interest because obviously Manchester United is a cash cow and that's not something that they want to lose for the price that they want, other than what they want. So, Mr. B, family divided.
I'm over the moon.
It's a family affair.
I'm over the moon. I hope this sale mashes up the whole of their family like they mashed up our club. To be fair, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, you can't sit down here and pretend that you're happy that they're there. This is, what we got 60 days until the sale, or 59 now, whatever it is. So things are moving and the cracks are beginning to show. Their family unity probably wasn't quite what it was. Look, let's be honest. It has been a cash cow, and they have milked it now that we're now giving them powdered milk. There's no liquid left in those teats at all, bro. So we're struggling. They've realized, and they said maybe it has a lot to do with the fact that they've been targeted by the fans, for whatever business ventures or things that are doing. I think the reason why they want to stay, prestige. Let's be honest, it's a marquee. We're a marquee. We're like Rolls Royce. Everybody knows who we are. We're like McDonald's. Everybody sees the badge wherever you are in the world, and you know what it is. You know what team we are. So I think a lot of it has to do with prestige.
Again, with that as well, Mr. B, and you said they messed the club up quite badly. They have. So they took over Man United sort of 17 years now, and in that period of time, they haven't really and truly put a penny in the club as a family. All they've done is drain it out. Facilities are very poor at Old Trafford at the moment. And we technically, when you look at rich clubs in world football, I think we're still, even though we haven't won nothing for a very long time, I think we're still in the top 5 in world football. So like we're talking about, we are a club that's basically can self-sufficiently run on our own, but it comes to a point where sponsorships are pulling out. It's come to a point now where fans are getting angry. The Glazers do not know nothing about football. All it is whatever can go in their back pocket. Now, they got Man United on a loan, and the debts now from where they first started off to where it is now, it's even higher. But then, I don't know how you guys feel, but if we were winning trophies, would we realize the debts? I don't think we'd realize the amount of debts because we're doing stuff on the pitch. But because it's a case of we're doing nothing on the pitch whatsoever, and they keep taking. There's got to be a time when enough is enough and the money's dried up. And right now, this season, we can't go out and buy a player in the January transfer window. We got to be loaning players in January transfer window. And it's a case of loaning the players. We can't actually physically even pay for some of those loan deals. So let them be divided, like Mr. B says. Let them rip each other apart because that's what they've done to Manchester United. They tear up the foundation and the fundamental of Manchester United.
For me, I think there's a bit of FOMO going on in the Glazer family, the fear of missing out, because they're seeing whispers of Super League. They're seeing mega Premier League TV deals. They're seeing a lot of money starting to come back in to a business that they have a foothold currently in. And they're probably thinking, hang on a second, if we can ride this out, take a few of the waves, we might actually start to make a bit of money by holding on to them again. But they have a lot of anxiety in their family at the moment that is pushing for an exit. Now, interestingly, there are a number of key bidders that apparently are being identified at the moment. We know that there's only one fully identified, that's Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And we've spoken on the channel about problems that may occur with his bid. But there's two that are rather interesting. And there's an ambassador being sought again by some bidders by the name of David Beckham. He's currently established a foothold in the American Football League, and he's looking to provide, I suppose, a friendly face when dealing with Manchester United. I want to ask briefly about the first one because it's media attention seeker Elon Musk that apparently is back in the headlines this morning as a possibility to make a bid. I think, in my own opinion, that this bid rumor is an absolute false dawn because I don't think there's anything coming from there. But Mr. B, how would you feel about playing in the Tesla Arena sponsored by SpaceX on the jersey?
Take me to space.
Fred be at home.
Oh, yeah, Superman.
Whoever buys the club, we have no control over. All I hope is that they have the club's best interests at heart. That's all. I would love it to be Radcliffe. I just feel that him being a supporter, he would be my preferred. I do believe it's going to go to Qatar, but let's be honest, Qatar have the best of everything and they want the best of everything. So if they come in there, then you're going to get, look, whoever comes in, human rights one side, lack of business acumen on the other side in regards to Radcliffe. So there's always whoever comes in
as well. Brexiteer with Radcliffe as well.
There you go. So whoever comes in, there's always going to be some part of the fan base who's not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Look, I can't make that choice. I just want it to be the right choice. And then again, let's be honest. The Glazers don't care who they sell to. They're going to sell to the person who's got the most money. If the person who's selling them to is chopping off man's head in outer space and putting it in soup, and it's a big complaint, but they're paying the most money, it doesn't make no difference. We're going to be getting sold to the soup sellers. So I don't think it makes any difference, to be fair. I just hope that whoever comes in has our best interests at heart.
Solo, I think there's an interesting story that was developing overnight, and that's in Bloomberg, which is the business communications network for New York. I think they're based out of. They're saying that a Qatari bid is imminent, and as we know, Friday is the soft deadline for bids. But it has been stated in the media, and we spoke about this on last night's show, that they will not overpay for Manchester United. Now, what their definition of overpaying, given that they're worth £330 billion, is probably anyone's guess.
It's again, like you said there, and this is what the issue is. So Jim Radcliffe's come out and sort of put the first sort of incline in. I've said it already. I honestly don't believe Sir Jim Radcliffe's going to buy Manchester United. I believe Everton came out after, and I believe he will now go after Everton. And the reason why I go after Everton's 500 million to buy Everton, right? The money that he would spend on Man United, he could spend on the new stadium at Everton, the new facilities at Everton. He could do everything for that cheaper than buy Manchester United, even though he's a supporter. Now we're talking
no prestige.
Yeah, there you go. And again, with the whole thing with it as well, what you've got is you got the other side of it as well, where would he give the Glazers a back door? That's the other thing you got to look at as well. Would he solve? Because he has come out before in the past, and everyone wanted to criticize Glazers, and he said the Glazers are my friends. So what does that tell you?
There's no chance. There's no point in buying the club and getting in the bed with the Glazers, bro.
But the thing with it is he could get in bed with the Glazers, and the reason why is because then the bid is lower. He's selling the club, but he's keeping them on the share on it as a shareholder.
No chance.
It could happen.
No chance.
easy to do it to Qatar. If we give it to the Qatar, for me, like again with you, Mr. B, I just want the best fit person for Manchester United, someone who's going to come in and have our best interests at heart. And again, people are going to sit there and go about human rights, this, that, and the other. To be honest with you, it's time now we need to give other countries an opportunity and a chance, because some of those countries are changing. But when you listen to the media, we don't know what's going on in that country because we're not in that country. It's what we're getting from the media. So sometimes we got to take a step back and think about it. Some people may not like what I'm saying, but there's evil in everyone. But we just want the right thing for Manchester United as a fan and as a football club.
I think, as you rightly pointed out, Solo, every bit is not without its problems. It's already documented about the possible cash liquidity issues of Enos, that they would only have about 2 billion in cash ready to support their bid. They've got their loans tied up in terms of dealing with the Glacier debt, but it does seem that they're going to fall short. They need to make up 2.5 billion alone to reach the value that they think is fair, and that's 4.5 billion. So if there's more required, i.e. to get to 5.5 billion, they're not just going to be able to make that ground up with either giving up equity to the Glaciers or getting a significant loan, which ultimately United will end up having to pay. But that is...
Can I say something quickly, Rebel? Apologies.
Go on.
I know. But if I'm right to say, they're going to buy the club for whatever, 6 point whatever billion, yeah? But isn't there the new rule they have to put 1 billion in transfer kit for, I think, is it 2 season or 3 season? So that then make it 7 billion.
The Abramovich rule, there's a commitment that they have to put forward. So that's why it does seem that, just on the numbers, that it's unlikely that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would be able to get into the winners' enclosure for this bidding process. But gentlemen, I know you're both looking to get out the door to go to work. I want to thank you for joining me before your morning brew. And to the wonderful members of the Man United Agenda family, thanks for tuning in. Have a blessed Tuesday, and we'll see you tonight. All the best. Talk to you soon.